Hello, I'm Chuck Phillips, South Alabama Home Inspections, and welcome to another edition of Southern Home Talk. And this is an issue I find probably on most houses that have wood siding. What you're looking at is reverse board and batten that was put on this house in the mid-90s. I also recommend too that if you decide to go with this type of siding that you get treated reverse board and batten or composite. In fact, composite may even be better. But if you have to replace it and need to match it back, I wouldn't go back with plain wood reverse board and batten. You can get this treated. You may have to call a lumber supplier, but they can have that ordered in, treated if they don't have it in stock. But really the better tack to take, and that's why I'm doing this, I don't want to spend a whole lot of money replacing this reverse board and batten with either a composite or treated, and primarily because of the labor it's going to take to remove all this siding to put the new up. And really most of the problems associated with this wood siding is usually at the lower level. Now, one thing that probably contributed to this is the water hose that probably added some moisture to this area and no doubt contributed to the rot. But another thing that can be kind of deceptive is you can have rotted areas in this that doesn't look rotted. So if you look right here, you see this kind of is soft right there, so it's starting to rot in areas, and the paint can actually conceal a lot of rotted places in the siding. So anyway, what we're going to do is replace it with this 1x8 treated. I always use treated lumber, and I'm going to put a pretty thick bead of caulk along this top edge. And I recommend using this blended latex caulk. It's actually a blended silicone with latex, and the reason why you want to use this type of caulk is because silicone requires an extremely dry surface in order for it to bond, and so this is also paintable as well. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and cut this board to size and get it put on there, so just stay tuned to part 2. Well, alright, we got it up now. What we're looking at is the 1x8 treated lumber that I put up here, and so this is really just a good way to quickly repair a bottom rotted area of your siding if you have that issue. Of course, another way it could have been done is just by simply replacing all this siding, but that would have been pretty labor intensive, cost more money to do. But this is a pretty good fix, and like I say, most of these problems with rotted siding is usually going to be at the bottom leading edge. But one thing is when you get your trim board up, you want to put a really good bead of caulk along the top edge right there. Another good thing about using a blended caulk is if you have a mistake, you can just take a wet towel and wipe up any areas where it may have smeared. I also used a pneumatic staple gun here with galvanized staples, and so that'll be another thing too. For anything exterior, it needs to be weather rated fasteners, or otherwise they will rust and you'll start seeing rust stains on your paint after you've painted. So that's pretty much it. It's just a really quick way to take care of rotted areas at the bottom. But another thing is, just don't cover up any rot that's still wet. You need to allow that to dry. Otherwise, you'd be trapping moisture behind your trim board. So hope this has been somewhat informative, and thanks for watching.